Well, if we'd have said on last week's episode that in this whole week Sheffield Wednesday would have had a penalty and win at Pride Park, I'd have been laughed off the podcast. Welcome to Where Owls Walk. Welcome back to episode 18. This week we're talking about the legend that is Barry Bannon, Jamal Lowe. Why are Wednesday better away from Hillsborough than at it? January window priorities and who should be the November Player of the Month for the Wednesday. But come on then, let's get out our system, Andrew. 2 wins in a week. We got 2 teddies.
Double whammy. That's why we're here. We did it. We went to Hull. We performed. We got what we deserved there. Perfect 2-0 win, 3 points. Thank you very much. And then I was going to be happy with the draw at Derby after that win. But to get the win at Derby, it's absolute bonus. Absolute bonus, especially as the first half we didn't show up. We weren't there. We weren't playing well at all. And then the second half, it's like Jekyll and Hyde. The subs that Danny Röhl brought on did the business. 2-1. Thank you very much. 6 points in the bag.
If you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, welcome. This is Glyn, Matt and Andrew. And for 20 minutes every single week, we pour over every single Sheffield Wednesday result. And this, I mean, of all the 24 clubs that I do, this is the most up and down chat that we have. But Glyn, back-to-back victories. When was the last time you were able to enjoy that?
Oh, it's refreshing, isn't it? You know, it's a nice feeling, and looking at the league table, you know, it's not over, you know, and like we said, kind of week 1 and 2, I never really look at the table until around Christmas time anyway. To be quite honest, it needs to settle a little bit, doesn't it? But yeah, absolutely ecstatic with the 2 wins on the bounce, and especially the Derby win as well. It's been a long time, hasn't it, since we won at Derby, really. So yeah, amazing feeling. 2 wins on the bounce, 6 points in the bag, and we keep moving forward, hopefully.
Matt, you've been to Pride Park a number of times and left empty-handed. Is it nice to finally tick that ground off with a win?
Yes, very much so, Mark. Ordinarily, I'd come on and sit here and say, we were, I'm unlucky for Derby. They probably did deserve at least a point from the game and all the rest of it. But no, forget that. I've been there so many times and seen us get taken plenty of slackings and all the rest of it. So actually, it was nice to stick one in the 93rd minute yesterday and kind of be serenading the players off the pitch. As Andrew quite rightly mentioned, we were appalling for large spells of the game yesterday for 65 minutes until the subs and the goal. And then after that, momentum shifts. Derby had plenty of chances to go and win the game. It was like watching Sheffield Wednesday at times. I do feel sorry for anybody who is not a supporter of either club and did tune in as a Championship fan to watch that game on a Sunday, Man City versus Liverpool, because the quality on show for the first 65 minutes, 70 minutes was dire, absolutely dire. But these are the games that we would have gone on to lose last year. These are the games that this time last year, I know Danny Röhl was in the building, but this squad just wouldn't have been able to get back into it. And we are the league leaders in taking points from losing positions at the minute. So yeah, it was a really, really nice feeling sitting in traffic outside Pride Park yesterday.
All right, let's cometh the hour, cometh the man. Let's talk about him then. Jono says, it's almost a decade of this man and he's still producing magic. My dad told me stories of Waddle and Sheridan. I'll be telling my lad about him. Brilliant, Balding, Barry, you know what, Bannon. Go on, Andrew. 35 and he's still scoring goals like that.
What a goal. Second best goal of the season behind Mark Smith's goal against Portsmouth, obviously. That's number 1, but this is number 2. World-class goal. As Matt says, anybody watching the game wouldn't think a lot of nonsense. 2 magical world-class moments in that game. One was produced by Barry Bannon. That incredible, the way he placed that ball right in the top corner, he knew exactly what he was doing. Absolutely bent it around there. The keeper had no chance of stopping that. And then the other world-class moment in the game was obviously Jeremy Beadle's amazing save, which at that time could have made it 2-0 to them. And that would have been very dangerous. So, yeah, brilliant. Bannon, just he was having one of his worst games, obviously. I think he wanted a card from referees to make up the fact he didn't get a birthday card from him, I suppose. He got his yellow card for throwing the ball away, a cheap booking. And I don't know if he did that on purpose as he misses the game against Preston. Maybe he's got other plans next Saturday. Hope you're not watching this, Barry. But anyway, no, at the end of the day, we've lost him for next week, but he's a quality player. He's irreplaceable in that part as far as, producing the encouragement, the motivation, players around him to keep them going and to believe in themselves. Simple as that.
Yeah, Glenn, we talked about contracts, didn't we, last week? If he was any in doubt, it's no doubt now as he gets a 1 year extension every year as long as he wants one, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think he's earned that as well, Mark. To be quite honest, I mean that ball could have fell to anybody else on the pitch, and that would not have gone in. He's got that air of quality, hasn't he? And I think he's earned his place to kind of decide what he wants to do with his own contract. To be fair, as other players have done at other clubs in the past, but. As I said, kind of, right at the beginning of the season, I think this will probably be Barry Bannon's last season in a Wednesday shirt, but I honestly do think he'll stay at the club and carry on with his badges and coach and be part of the backroom staff or whatever he wants to do. I'd quite happily open the door for him for that and let him do what he wants. He's earned it, hasn't he? He's Wednesday through and through.
Okay. Let's talk about another player in that game then, Matt. We'll talk about top tweets in a second. Let's look at David. Jamal says, Jamal looked the sharpest player on the pitch after a few minutes of being gone. Well-deserved goal, lad. Deserves a start against Preston. Matt, do you agree?
I think he was a huge part in the substitutes yesterday for ourselves, changed the game. I completely understand the logic and the thinking behind starting the front three of Smith, I was nearly said Gustafa then, I was nearly going on proper Sky vibes then from last week, yeah. Gassama and Masaba, but it didn't work. And it consistently doesn't work for both of those players when they start games. I would argue that Jody Gassama is the better player of the two. He's got more of a footballing brain about him because, even in the first half, he was poor by his standards yesterday. The amount of fouls that he won during the first half just to relieve the pressure is really good. He was rightly hooked. Anthony Masaba, realistically could have been hooked 5 minutes into the second half. He was, I think, left on to try in an attempt by Danny Röhl to build some confidence. Josh Windass comes on and Jamal Lowe and immediately looked a lot more of a threat. We've we did a list last week, Mark, about kind of like players who you would release. And I would stick by it. Callum Patterson at the end of the year is not a Sheffield Wednesday player for me. That yesterday was an ideal game to bring him on for in that perspective. We talked about Cardiff last week and kind of you don't want to be bringing Callum Patterson on to score you a goal. You want Callum Patterson to be brought on for exactly what he was yesterday, which is a pure agent of chaos, which is just get amongst it, win fouls. Because, for the winner, when the ball's played up to him, 9 times out of 10, that's given as a foul. He's got hands all over the defender's shirt. He then doesn't get given. He then barrels into the next challenge. The ball across is, credit where it's due, it's a really, really well-struck delivery. I thought Jamal Lowe, when he came on, I think he's progressive and forward running, I think was good. But I think Danny came out after the game and said that he'd watched a lot of footage of Jamal Lowe over the past couple of weeks and said, come on, we need to try and get this level out of you. We saw the most attacking intent from a shot perspective from Jamal Lowe that we've seen in a Sheffield Wednesday shirt. So, yeah, I'm really pleased for him to go and get his goal yesterday because when he was brought in as a free agent, that's exactly what you thought you were getting as a Wednesday fan.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but I still disagree with Matt about unloading Michael Smith. Michael Smith, he scored a quality goal against Hull to seal the deal there. The guy has still got ability. He can still deliver in the Championship. I still believe he can do it.
Let's crack on. We talked last week, Andrew, about Danny Röhl. We said, was it right to criticise him? So let's give him some praise, shall we? This week, Danny Röhl masterclass. We were shocking in the first half, as you've all mentioned. He made changes at half-time and then made further attacking changes. He popped Charles into centre-back and his subs got the winner. Get in. Let's put some credit back on his name, shall we? Yeah.
Well, we were never doubting it in the first place, were we? Well, at least I wasn't. Even last week, all the people, the doom and gloom merchants who jump in straight away at any first opportunity. The guy knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. He can only work with the tools he's got available to him still until January, and then we'll see what happens then, if anything does change, if there's any, cash flow coming from Bank Chansiri or not. But at the end of the day, he's getting the best out of the players. Not all results are going to be sweet as a nut. Cardiff, we're still upset not winning that game, but we bounced back. We won the next two. Onwards and upwards. We're joint ninth now. Joint ninth, 5 points off the playoffs.
For me, that's where the game was won yesterday as well. It was kind of a battle of the tacticians, and Derby's manager wanted to out tactic Danny Röhl, and it worked. It like Matt just said, it worked for 50, 60 minutes. But it's Danny Röhl's game, isn't it? And he'll have had that plan since 2 weeks since. So he absolutely tactically and got it correct. I was worried about the lineup as well from right at the beginning. We lost the heart of the defence, Dishon Bernard, and also Ike Ogbo. I think although he's not scoring goals, we massively missed Ike Ogbo in that first half, or his work off the ball as well. So Danny Röhl absolutely got that tactically bang on.
Absolutely. So in the last 5 away games, that's 4 wins, and the club tweeted that out, and it prompted, I don't know if you saw, a splurge of Blades fans going, "Oh, I wonder what was the one that you didn't win." But this is the question I posed to all 3 of you to have a discussion there, which Alex posed and others. Okay, very simple question for you to debate. Why can't we do this at home? Floor is yours.
For me, I think the answer is fairly simple. It's because we are a better side without the ball. And there is an onus on you at home to dictate and dominate possession. Like yesterday was a prime example away from home. Both Derby and Sheffield Wednesday do not want the football. It was very much, no, you have it, no, you have it, no, you have it, no, you have it. At home, I think a Hillsborough crowd doesn't, whilst we are, Danny Röhl's got more rope than any Sheffield Wednesday manager that I've known in my lifetime for sure. I think we are still wanting a side to kind of dictate and take the game to a side at times. And I think that standoff nature of perhaps some of our attacking movements at home, like there was a lot of times yesterday where it felt like a wing back could get into a wider or a more advanced position or run round there kind of like wide forward. And they don't do that away from home. They also don't do that at home. And I think that then leads into, we spoke about the atmosphere on here as well, Mark. It leads to an edgy and sort of frustrated sense surrounding the ground. And that does filter down and feed down onto the pitch. That for me is sort of where it boils down to. The away form is outstanding. I agree with you at the moment. But that's normally role reversal for Sheffield Wednesday.
Yeah,
we have the tools to still deliver at home. We did it against Plymouth, West Brom and Norwich. So, we've been a bit inconsistent. We're unlucky not to get wins against QPR and Cardiff at home as well. And now we've got 2 home games coming up, massive home games, which on paper we could easily win, but they're not gimmies. Even Preston and Middlesbrough, Preston and Blackburn will not be gimmies because they both managed to get decent results away from home at clubs this season. Preston drew at Burnley for starters and Middlesbrough. So we're not going to say it's a walk in the park coming up next Saturday, but we've got to believe we've got the players who can do it.
Okay. Leads us nicely on to talk about Preston then. Winless away from home this season, Glyn. Heckingbottom, of course, in the dugout. And they have a shared kindred with you guys because they hate their owners and want their chairman out. Of course, Peter Ridsdale as well. How do you see this one going?
So what you're saying is, Mark, we're going to get beat 3-0. Is that what you're saying? No, they are struggling a little bit, aren't they? They like to get a draw, but they have scored goals against Norwich. Was it Plymouth? They scored. Was it a 3-3 draw or something?
Yeah,
so they can they can play a bit when the tails are up, sort of thing. So. It'd be an interesting one, I think. I'm quietly confident that again we just spoke about home form, and I think what Danny Röhl wants to do at home, he wants to make it a fortress, and like we said in previous weeks, he wants everything tactically perfect, and then we have a different kind of game plan when we go away because we're expecting other teams to defend their home ground, sort of thing. So. I think the home form will come, and little by little we're getting better. But again, let's hope we see some of that against Preston. I don't want it to be a draw. I'm hoping, like you say, let's get another win on the bounce and make it at home, and get some energy back inside Hillsborough, because the last few games at Hillsborough, the atmosphere, I'll be honest, has been really, really poor. Unfortunately, and whether that is to do with the performances that we have been seeing at home, I'm not entirely sure, but we could do with getting a fizz of energy and a good win at Hillsborough. So I'm predicting 3-0.
All right. Let's move on then. Let's talk about January transfer windows, because the lists have been drawn up and around the country for kids' Christmas lists. So Matt, let's draw up the Sheffield Wednesday Christmas list, shall we? What's top of the order for what's needed in January?
3. You need, in my opinion, you need a centre half to cover, because we are struggling there at the minute. You need a striker, and you also need a wide option who is different to the wide options that we've got, in terms of we need effectively a like for like replacement for Josh Windass. I'm not talking about that quality, because that's going to be very difficult to go out and get in January. Definitely from taking, like paying an outright fee, you're going to be paying through the nose. From a Premier League loan, unless you're going to loan someone like I'm thinking like a Connor Chaplin or somebody like that from Ipswich, unless you're going to go out, or Nathan Broadhead, I suppose, unless you're going to go and loan somebody like that, who Ipswich are going to be reluctant to let those type of players go. You are pulling something out the fire, which we did last year in Jan Poveda from Leeds. Those are the 3 areas where we are struggling in depth. I would be looking also to send out, Bailey Cadamartri is out; he should stay out for the season to go and learn his football. Charlie McNeil, for me, should have been loaned out in the summer. He's got to go. He's nowhere near it at the minute. He needs to go out and establish himself as a first team player somewhere and score some goals. We have got centre half covering Gabe Otegbayo, who played at Brentford and acquitted himself well. He's also been capped internationally, but I suppose for where we are, you do want to see us go out and strengthen in those 3 areas.
Andrew, do you agree, or is that a different order for you?
Well, I think I said the same. I think last time we were talking about transfer windows, weren't we? I said we need a proven goal scorer, a regular goal scorer. We haven't had a highest goal scoring forward really for a long time now. A regular guy can hit 20 goals in a season. I'm trying to remember the last person to do that for us. So we're desperately in need of that. We create the chances. We need them finished. And as Matt says, central defender, obviously to shore up the defence, a leader in the centre of the defence. A guy like Nigel Pearson or Mike Lyons from yesteryears, guys who organise and people listen to and get the team going. And obviously the third replacement is a person to replace Barry Bannon. But I don't think Barry Bannon is going to be going anywhere. Barry Bannon, I think, will still be around as a squad player next season. That's my prediction. He'll still be there.
All right, then. It is December then, so that means only one thing. It's time for our November Player of the Month entry. You've pretty much all chosen the same one each month. Let's choose from. Let's see if we can get a bit of variety this month, shall we? Glyn, who gets it for you?
James Beadle for me this time around. He's
we're saying the same thing.
He's been superb. He's kept us in the games. Not without mistake. All goalkeepers make mistakes, but he's for me, without him in the net, and we've seen it on a lot of social media that when he came in, that he were he's no better than Cameron Dawson, and I've backed him 100%. And with Cameron Dawson or any other keeper in the net, would have certainly lost a lot more games this season. And recent weeks has been outstanding. So James Beadle for my shout this month.
Very good. He does the best knee slide of any goalkeeper I've seen so far.
His hands are absolutely massive, by the way. Huge, they're like shovels, honestly.
Not like Jeremy Beadle, whose hands literally were
complete opposite.
Like his dad. Yeah, Matt.
My player of the month is, of course, Shay Charles. But I will give you who I think majority of cult Sheffield Wednesday fans would give it to Paul Valentin this month. In the month of November, he has been outstanding and really knocking on the door now and challenging for a starting berth. It is really interesting with Paul Valentin because you don't know what you're going to get from him. You don't know whether you're going to get an absolute all-out flying winger like we saw at Hull, or whether you're going to get a performance like we saw yesterday at Derby. But he rightly got the start at Derby. Okay, it didn't come off for him over the course of the time that he was on the pitch. But I think he's dragged himself up into that position, and now genuinely is somebody who people should be having a conversation about, because his link up with Josh Windass in that run and in the side has been really pivotal and instrumental to us being more successful. But of course, Mark, the answer is Shea Charles.
Of course. Andrew?
Well, Beadle, without a shadow, he had a couple of Coventry City away in the FA Cup third round. That's why my head's up the whole time. We're away at Coventry again, same as last season. Revenge, please, revenge. Yeah, Beadle, please, has got it without a shadow. A couple of blank scores against him in a couple of the matches in the month, and also some great saves. Goes without saying, so Glim was spot on with that. For second place, I'd probably put Barry Bannon in there. Barry Bannon, he just continues to perform. He's quality. The guy's still quality.
Okay, brilliant. Let us know what you think in the comments below. If you haven't yet pressed subscribe, please do so. We want to make at least 100 subscribers by the end of this week. Thank you all very much for watching, and we'll see you on the other side of the Preston result. Thank you very much.